Hello, summer camp art students. I'm Miss Morris, and today we will create an Aboriginal tortoise painting using Q-tips to create the tortoise color and design. For this project, the materials we will need are one sheet of construction paper. It doesn't really matter what color you choose, as long as it's a nice bright color, I prefer. To stand up and allow the tortoise to pop. So yellows, reds, anything nicely, brightly colored, okay? Also, you will need a black sheet of construction paper. You will need glue stick, scissors, about 8 to be on the safe side, Q-tips, and also a pencil. And you will need paint. Now, the colors I'm choosing to use today will be orange, red, and yellow and white. Also green. Now, we're going to stop there, but if you would like to continue at the end of the video, once we're completed with the tortoise, we can use the other colors that I have here as well, and I'll show you exactly what we can do with those later. So again, these are your colors for right now: orange, red, yellow, white, and green acrylic paint, okay? Let's get started. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your blue paper, your black paper, sorry. Okay, and so for you at home, I know one of the materials was to use a pencil, but so you can see what I'm drawing at home and make it more visible for you, I'm going to choose to use a white color pencil, okay? So this is really simple. We're going to begin with a very basic shape. We're going to kind of start in here, leaving some room for the head. I'm going to try and take up as much of the paper as we can, so don't do it too small at home. And this is about the shape you will need. And then I'm going to curve down as if I'm making a circle, but not quite. It looks kind of like a boxy circle, which is kind of weird, but that's basically the shape I'm going for. And so there you have it. You can kind of round off these edges. It doesn't matter if your shape isn't really perfect. Get it as neat as you can. And that's about what you're going to do, okay? Now, you're going to come up here and make a head. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with a circle about this size, and then you're going to just curve in the neck like so. So that's the turtle's head. Got it? So now in here, erase. I had to make that body a little wider. I'm going to draw on this corner here, almost like a circular shape like this. It's more elongated, so I guess it would take on an oval shape, but it looks kind of roundish. So that's what I want you to do. And then you're going to do the same thing on this side. Just like that. You're going to come to the next corner down here, and you're going to do the same thing. And this corner as well. just like that. So now on each end of this turtle, we're going to draw like these 3 little wavy lines, and those will be his toes, okay? So starting at the top here, I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to draw 1 wavy line, 2, and then 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good job. Now down here, we're going to create a tail. It's going to be really short. You're going to slant to your right, come in, curve shape, and just like that. And there you have the turtle's tail. Okay. Now, you can take your pencil and just erase the line here, the circle you made for the head. You can just erase that line. And all the other lines you can leave because they give you almost like a guideline, okay? Taking your pencil, now we're going to create the shape in the inside of the tortoise shell, okay? I want to make him really kind of fat. So if you feel like you've made him a little too boxy or not fat enough, you can always widen your lines going around, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a hexagon shape in the inside. And I know all of you smart children out there know what a hexagon is. It's a shape with how many sides? 6 sides. So we're going to start with building like almost like a house-like shape. We're going to start in the around, I'd say right here. And we're going to just make these lines, these first 2 lines, just like that. So that's the first 2. Then we're going to come straight down, almost like if we were drawing a house. And then we're going to slant them inwards and create that hexagon shape, just like that. Now we're going to come to this point at the top, draw a short line here, and at the bottom, a short line there. Again, it doesn't have to be precise and perfect, but as long as you have these shapes, you have your guideline, okay? Now at the top of your line here, you're going to make like a V shape. It could be the width of the turtle's neck, that's up to you, or not, it doesn't matter. And at the bottom, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to make that triangle shape like that. Good job. So far, so good. You see where this is going? So now we have to create another hexagon here, but so far we have 1, 2, 3 sides. So we need 3 more sides. So parallel to this line, we're going to create another parallel line, parallel to this line. See that? Then you're going to, again, make that triangular shape going slanting upwards, just like that. And now you're going to draw a line, a straight line here, parallel to this line. So straight down. Awesome. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. You're going to slant up, draw your parallel line, parallel to this, and then finish off that hexagon, just like that. So now we have our 3 hexagon shapes so far. We're going to repeat that pattern down here now. So what you're going to do is we have our 3 shapes, just like we did above, 1, 2, 3, parallel to this line, slant in, and slant up. See that? Or if you just bring it in there and you just don't want to add this line, that's fine as well. It really won't matter once we start to make our dots, so that's fine. However your drawing lands is where it's at. So then we're going to come here, slant down, just like we did here. Then we're going to go straight down. And again, like I said here, you can make that straight line if you want to, or you can just leave it be. That's up to you. So I'm leaving both options open for you. Got it? So here, we're going to come to this side, and we're just going to slant straight up and stop at the edge of the tortoise shell right here. Same thing on this side. Good job. Now here, we're going to what? Slant down. You got it. Slant down, right to the edge of the tortoise shell. And then we're going to finish off on the sides, upper sides, slanting upwards, slanting upwards. See how easy that was? Awesome. Now here comes the fun part. We are going to start painting our tortoise. So to make room, I'm going to move this and I'll bring them back, but I'm going to just slide our drawing over and we're going to work on it together step by step. But first things first, we're going to cut this shape out and glue it onto our background, and then we'll start our painting. So right now, I'm going to start cutting out my shape, my tortoise, making sure not to cut off any of the toes. Almost done. Good job. Okay. Now we have our tortoise. He's all cut out. If you like to, you can erase these toe lines, this line in here on both toes. You don't really see that underneath, but that's all up to you. Again, mine shows up much more because I used white at home, but you guys at home, I use white here, but you guys at home you're using your pencil. So I have my background sheet here. And now I'm going to flip this tortoise over and I'm going to apply my glue, making sure the head and all the arms, legs are secure. I'm going to glue those first, glue the tail, and then just go around the tortoise body like so with the glue. You want them nice and flat and flush to this paper background. You don't want them to lift in any areas. Okay. I'm going to turn him around. I'm going to center him best as I can. Looks pretty good. And smooth them on out. Awesome. So now we can begin painting. So at this point, if you don't have any paper towel, you should pause your tape now and video and get some paper towel so that you can at least rest your Q-tips when they're soiled with the paint. If you don't need them anymore, you don't want to make a mess at home. And I have several here. I may not even need all of these, but just in case, sometimes what starts to happen as you paint is the fibers of the cotton will start to lift and drag, and you don't want the excess to get onto your tortoise shell and the dots not be as circular and perfect. So when that starts to happen and your Q-tip gets worn, you just toss it and you get you just grab a new one, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start with white. We're gonna start with our white paint. So I'm gonna dip my Q-tip into the white paint, and there's a technique to this, and it's really simple. Following the lines that we created here, that's all we're going to do for right now. So we're just going to hold our Q-tip at almost like a 90-degree angle so we get a perfect dot, and we're going to press down gently. And we're going to put these dots nice and close together, leaving just a tiny bit of space in between them. You want to try to get them the same size, but if you don't, it's fine. If you tend to push down too hard, it will lift the paint back off of the construction paper, and what you will find is like a little black dot in the center will be created. It's almost like a suction. It'll just suck the paint back up. So if that happens, it's fine. Just take a little bit more paint and just kind of just go right over it. So all I'm doing is following my lines, and these are my guidelines. Don't go off the page. Stop right before you reach the edge of your page, because you don't want these dots to bleed onto the background, okay? You want to keep them within the tortoise shape. Here we go. And I'm working pretty fast. This is not a really difficult project. It's absolutely beautiful. And I like the rhythm of it. I get into a nice, good rhythm. And so far, so good. This is exactly what you should be doing at home. Now remember, don't go too close to the edge. You don't want to go off the edge. You want to stay within the tortoise's shape. Okay. So remembering here when we created the line, if you like to, you can definitely outline that, because we're going to go around the tortoise's shape anyway. And we're going to keep going all the way around, just like this, staying inside of the tortoise. If you ever get some time, you should look up some Aboriginal paintings like this. They're absolutely breathtaking. And you just might want to do these in a different animal. Okay, so I am done with my white shapes, my little white dots here, and my shapes in the inside. If you find any that you want to go over again, just redot it. And that's just fine. Now, placing this Q-tip aside, I'm going to now pick up another Q-tip, a clean Q-tip, and I'm going to go into my yellow paint. And in the inside of every hexagon, I'm going to outline the inner part of where I created my white lines. And again, gentle dots. If you just press down gently, it won't give you that suction that you might start to see. You're just going to basically deposit color. And you're holding that Q-tip to where all it does is it creates a dot. That's it. Okay, so now I see here is where my Q-tip is starting to, the fabric is starting to pull down. So I may have to swap this one out or turn it over. But I want to keep working with it until it's becomes a little intolerable for me. Be very aware of where your hands are when you're doing this. Again, hold this at a 90-degree angle so that you don't drag your hand across the wet paint and disrupt these dots. You don't want to do that. Okay, I'm going to swap out this yellow, get a clean one because my Q-tip started to, the fibers started to come apart on it. And I'm just kind of going back over some of these because I see they have little suction where they have the paint kind of lifted off a little bit in the center of my dots. And you're just going to keep going. Really nice. Still placing very gentle dots. And the colors is just so vivid and so pretty. Okay, and looks like we're done with yellow, but not quite. So what I want you to do is you take your yellow again, and where all these little wavy, these little toes that we created, we're going to just put in each 1, 2, 1, 2, just like that. And that just kind of reestablishes that these are the tortoise's toes. So it should be 6 on each. Just like that. Again, you can observe your own work And if you feel like there's some yellow spaces that you want to add more yellow to, you go right on ahead, because you know your work better than I do at home, because you're the one creating it. Okay, so now we're done with yellow. Oh, are we? No, not quite. I forgot something. Eyes. There we go. So now we have the 2 tortoise eyes there. Okay, now we can get rid of the yellow. We're going to pick up another clean Q-tip, and we're going to go into orange now. And we're going to do the same thing, repeating the same steps we did with the yellow, just going around and around. Like so. This is so much relaxing to me. It's really, really relaxing to me, actually. I don't know about you guys at home. But I really hope you're having fun with this. And I'm just going to keep working. Really nice. Okay, so we can get rid of that one. And now we're going to go into our red. We're going to finish up this tortoise shell. And anywhere you fill in between that orange, you're just going to fill in with dots. Being careful to leave some black space in between each dot. Okay. And hold your Q-tip nice and firm. You don't want to drop it. And just in these little spaces here, I'm going to add some dots. Looks good. Really nice. So now we're almost done with our Aboriginal tortoise. We're going to now take another clean Q-tip, and we're going to go into green. And I like to use acrylic because acrylic is a wonderful paint. And we're going to start with this tortoise shell, tortoise leg, foot. And we're just going to fill in the whole thing with green dots. That's all. If you can fit any dots in between the yellow, that's fine. You can do so. I always like to start with the outline and then just fill in the inside to make it easier. But however you feel comfortable with, you do it your own way, okay? And again, if any of those dots aren't as opaque as you'd like them to be, because sometimes the Q-tip tends to pull the paint back off of the construction paper because it is cotton, it's a fabric. You just go back in and reestablish that with more green. That's all. Now be really careful to not go over your line, your tortoise's line on the outside. You want to keep your background nice and clean to isolate the tortoise from the background. Okay, and I'm going to work with the head. Okay, awesome. Now, this is your Aboriginal tortoise. We're going to go now, we're going to work with the tail and we'll kind of be done. So here is your tortoise. And if you love the way it looks here and you think you're done, you're done. But if you want to keep going using this technique, we can absolutely decorate and design the background using the same technique. And so what I would say to you is you're going to pick up your another Q-tip. And I had some other colors, which were blue. They contrast the colors that are in the tortoise shell tortoise already. So you want to pick a color that's totally outside of what you've already used so that you will isolate the shape and the actual tortoise. When the viewer goes to see it, they will actually see the tortoise and it doesn't get lost in translation. So I'm going to take my Q-tip and I'm going to go into blue. And I'm just going to just create a shape here, just going around. Very simple. And I'm going to keep following that shape. Again, this is all up to you at home. You don't have to do this part, but if you want to keep going and you like it and you enjoy it, let's just keep working. Okay? And I'm going to repeat that here. Again, be real careful where you're placing your hands. You don't want them in the way. You don't want them smudging. I'm trying really hard not to do that. Very nice. Bump and jump technique. bump and jump. Okay. So I'm going to let that Q-tip rest for a little while. Then I want to go back into this with using my white. I'm going to create a dot here, a little line there. And we're going to do this until we fill up the whole page. So I'm just going to kind of give you some guidelines here. And I'm just going to let you kind of just take over at home with your own pattern and your own design. Okay, really looking good. I'm going to rest this. I'm going to take another Q-tip. So I hope you brought plenty. And I'm going to go into this light blue. I have this light blue here, but you can use any color you choose to at home. And I'm just going to work in the inside. So I think you guys kind of got the picture at home. So I'm going to pause and then come back with my completed design. You guys at home, you're going to just fill in all of this negative space with all the dots that you can make. You can add other colors if you like, purple, anything opposite of the colors that you've already been using in here. You want to add, okay? So let's do that now. Give me some time and we'll come right back. Okay, and this is what it looks like when it's done. Again, like I said, you can use whatever colors that you choose to use. And we took it another step further and we made it even more wow. So I love it. And I hope you guys at home enjoyed it too. Well, there you have it. This is your Aboriginal tortoise. Again, if you have time, you can check that out and Google that and see the beautiful artwork, Australian artwork. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day. Bye.